You guys are awesome. I asked and you delivered, because like I said, you guys have asked me for a Q&A for a while, but every time that I've tried to put out a video asking for questions, usually maybe one, possibly even two people like ask a question, that's it, and it's not enough to justify a video, so it's never ended up successfully happening. But this time, in like 24 hours, you guys submitted me a page and almost a half of questions, so you get it quickly even. So thank you guys so much for asking them. If you'd like me to do more of these videos in the future, I am totally happy to do more Q&As. I'll even like keep the page in my notebook so that if people want to just ask questions whenever, I can add them to the list for the next one, and then from time to time I can like put out another video saying that I'm planning on doing another one, so ask your questions now, whatever you'd like me to do. But anyway, for now, we got a bunch for this one, so let us get started. First question, favorite style of lippy, stick, round, etc. You know, in terms of just aesthetics, I like the round spherical ones best, but in terms of like how like practical they are, I like sticks better just because they're more convenient to tote around. So, like I said, it depends. Are we talking about how convenient they are, or are we talking about how they look? Because if it's how they look, I love the spheres, and I love the cutely shaped ones, because I'm a sucker for cute packaging, so. Alright, favorite Revo. Ooh, that's a hard one, because I have so many favorites. Goodness, I think my favorite Revo, currently anyway, it would probably be either the Revo Orange Mango, or what else was really good? I should have checked this first, honestly. Oh my goodness. I like a lot of the minty ones they've done, especially the beeswax peppermint one was awesome. Let's see, what else? I just mentioned that one from this year's Valentine's Day set. I think it was the, what was it, chocolate covered raspberry? I forget the exact name. Also, the cherry one was super good too this year, so those are favorites. I'd have to go look, honestly, to go more accurately answer this, but I have a bunch of favorites. There's none that I consider to be the #1 favorite Revo, so sorry that I don't have a more concrete answer than that. Plus, it's always changing too as I try and use more new ones. So, like I said, it's an ever-evolving thing. You could ask me the same question in a month or two, I'd probably have a different answer. So, you may want to ask again in the next Q&A, so. Alright, next question. Total amount of lip balm. You know, I just did the lip balm tag like, I want to say a month ago, if even. And at that point, I think I had like 1,020 something. So I did the math of everything I've bought since then and deducted the ones that I did in the EOS giveaway. And if I did the math correctly, I believe I've got 1,090 something at this point. I'm iffy on the exact number, but it should be in the 1,090 area. So, like I said, I could go count them all, but you guys would have been waiting longer for this video, so it is that. Plus, I keep buying new ones, so this number is literally always changing. How long have you been collecting lip balm? Oh gosh, like, literally about my entire life. The ones I have in my current collection generally aren't that old, both because when I was a teenager, Kimmy, who you guys know is the cute blonde girl in some of my videos, was a baby and literally decided to eat them all one day while I was at school. I was heartbroken over that. So all the awesome 90s ones I'd saved up and stuff, yeah, all wiped out. So probably, I would say, I think the earliest I remember actively getting them, I was still a toddler myself. Gosh, probably 2 or 3 years old, honestly. I know even before I personally had them, my mom used it on me. But ones that I actually owned, I don't know if these count as lip balms per se, but even though they were colored, they went on clear, so I'm gonna say they're lip balms, but, like, do any 80s kids remember the Tinkerbell brand of, like, cosmetics and perfume and shit? They were kind of a joke, but those are, like, the earliest ones I remember having. Like, very earliest. They were teeny tiny little things. They were almost like lipstick testers, almost. They were so small, but there was, like, a whole huge tray of, like, 20 or 30 of them. I even remember the Christmas I got them, and I just thought it was the coolest damn thing. That is how far back this goes for me. For ones that I know for certain were actual lip balm, goodness. I know that my Nana was an Avon lady, she literally always had the plain lip balms that had the calendar for the year printed on the tube, and always had a surplus of those, so we always had them in, like, every jacket pocket, every purse, every backpack, always had tons of those around, so there was that. I mean, they weren't the most exciting in the world, because they were completely unscented and unflavored and stuff, so that was a thing. And of course, it didn't take me long to latch on to lip smackers, but I don't think I remember exactly when I got my first of those or what it was, so probably not the most exciting answer in the world, but that is how long I've been collecting, so probably since the late 80s, because I am a dinosaur. Alright, what is one of your rarest and hardest to find lip balms you own? Those of you who've seen my Revo collections already know the answer to this one. I've got Black Cat Cherry. And just today I purchased another really rare Revo, the Berry Frost one from the 2013 collection. It's one of the oldest Revos there is. I mean, probably ridiculous I spent $30 on something that expires in October this year, but it was a Revo I didn't have in my collection, and I want to have as full a collection as I possibly can. I'm trying to fill in all the blanks, so I'm going back through, I'm seeing what all I missed, and I'm trying to cover all the bases. Alright, so I'm trying to think if I have anything else that's super rare that's not a Revo. I don't know that I do, honestly, that aren't Revo, so that probably is the number one rarest one I own. Next question. When did you start YouTube? When did I make an account, or when did I start using YouTube? Because I've been on the site of YouTube as a viewer literally since about 3 months after the site opened. I was one of the earliest people on it. I, like, remembered when it was still small enough to where you could watch every video on YouTube. And I can even tell you the very first video I ever saw on it, so there's that. As for when I started my account, though, because I actually had things to upload at that point, even though the first uploads that I ever put on there are long since deleted, was actually Valentine's Day of 2006. Because I'm that loser who had nothing better to do on Valentine's Day, but when has that ever changed things? Every year I spend on the computer, so, because personally, even if I were in a relationship at that point of the year, I kind of think that Valentine's Day is kind of a crock of shit and is pretty much just a marketing ploy, but that's just me. I'm one of those people that's like, you know what, if you can't treat the person you're dating nicely throughout the entire year and you just treat them well on one day of the year, you have a problem. So, yeah, that's just my take on things, why I generally don't make that big a deal out of it, but I understand why other people do, but I don't personally. So it happened to be that date that I started my account, which I actually didn't until very recently realize that was the exact day that I started the account. I knew the year was in 2006, but I just recently managed to figure out the exact date I opened my account. So, February 14th, 2006. Alright, how long have you had short hair? Oh, and I should also backpedal a little bit. For as long as I've been on YouTube, I've been on the internet even longer than that. I have been online since, I believe, 1993, which a lot of you watching this probably weren't even born yet in 1993, so, again, I am a dinosaur. Alright, so how long have you had short hair? Ever, or just this time? Because this time, I believe it was not this January, but last January, towards the end of the month. Weirdly enough, I had sort of a nervous breakdown and decided to chop all my hair off. Happens. Uh, that's actually not the first time I've done that. That is not, actually, I think most of the times I've randomly gone from long hair to super short. That is exactly how it's happened. I'm not sure why that seems to be my go-to thing other than cut hair, not wrists. But, yeah, so January of last year for this particular haircut, but I've had it equally as short before many times since about, honestly, the first time I had it this short, I was about 15 or 16. So it's just on and off. Usually it only gets long because I get lazy about upkeep for keeping it short. I actually really do not like having long hair ever, but sometimes I get so lazy about it to where before I know it, it's hit shoulder length, and once it hits that point, if I don't jump on it and it starts getting past that length, then it's almost like a challenge to myself of how long can I bear it before it drives me so freaking nuts that I just go and cut all of it off. And inevitably, sooner or later, I do chop it short again because I hate having long hair. That is to say nothing against other people having long hair. Aesthetically, I love how it looks on other people. But on me, I personally do not like it. Not so much even the looks, although I'm not a fan of how it looks on me either, but I just can't deal with the upkeep on it, and it pisses me off, and I hate how hot it makes my neck all the time, and how it's always in my face no matter what I do with it, because I get horrible headaches if I pull it into even so much as a loose ponytail, so for me, it's just easier to keep it short. Alrighty. What is your favorite brand and least favorite brand of lip balm? Well, least favorite brand is easy, because that, I think, hands down, goes to Moi Lip Balm. Because they were utter shit. I don't know if mine were bad, or if they honestly just suck that much, but basically what I've heard from other people, generally, they're really not a good brand, so I am not a fan of theirs. As for my favorite brand, that one's kind of a three-way tie in between EOS, Revo, and Chapstick, and I have different reasons for loving all of them, but honestly, it's basically a tie for all three. So, no particular one wins above the others, but those three are my big three. Yes, I know I have like a zillion soft lips, but in terms of ones that I actively hardcore love and go out of my way to collect, it's those three. Let's see here. Is your Etsy shop your job? Yes, it is. Because of health reasons and mild disability issues, I actually am incapable of holding a regular traditional job because I am honestly sick so often that I would be missing work all the time and get laid off like that. This was an issue all throughout school for me to where there was not a single month, my entire school career, kindergarten through graduating high school, where I didn't miss school at some part of every single month because I am just legit always sick. I have a really compromised immune system, amongst other issues, and it gets in the way big time. So between that and a bunch of other health problems I have too, it just would not work out for me, so I have always been self-employed. My main income comes from Etsy, but I actually do other things as well. I also, a little bit of time, I haven't done it so much since I started YouTube because I haven't had as much time to dedicate to it, but I also do some data entry work, and I actually have taken some freelance ghostwriting jobs too on the side, although not a whole lot of those, but that's been a much more recent development. So, between the three, I've been trying to at least get to where it's some sort of a sustainable income, and I'm getting closer to managing that goal, but I'm not there yet, but still working on it. Okay, do you own your house or apartment? I have no shame here. No, I do not. I live with my parents. I will be the first one to admit it. There's no shame in that, especially in this economy and in the Bay Area of California. The cost of living is so high that it's actually rarer to find people who don't either live with their parents or with a zillion roomies to try and make rent. So, yeah, because of the aforementioned issues with the last question, yeah, I still live at home, and honestly, I will probably always live at home. I honestly have no problem with that. I enjoy living here. I really don't do anything to where it stifles me to live here. Plus, this is gonna sound really bad, but I've seen my father's trust, and the house goes to me when they go someday. So I literally have zero reason to go if I'm gonna end up coming back here anyway, even if I left. So there's that. At that point, I mean, it's a big house, so at that point, probably one of my sisters and their families will move in too, because one person for a really big house would get very lonely. That's the other reason why, even if I had the funds to do so, I really wouldn't want to live on my own, because it just seems like it'd be really lonely. And since I have trust issues, I don't think I could trust roomies that I'm not related to not screw me over. And since I really don't date, yeah, it just wouldn't work out for me. So that's my situation. I know it may not be the most traditional by any means, and plenty of you probably think I'm a huge loser for it, but it is what it is. And I've had so many close calls with my health to where, you know, if I had been living alone, I'd probably be dead right now. Like, I actually had a really big health scare just last month that I never even talked about on this channel. I think I did talk about it on my Tumblr a while back. If you guys want to know about it, I can talk about it, but yeah, if I had been alone, probably wouldn't still be here. So, it is not the first of its kind. It is part of also the former question of why I don't work a traditional job, because my health is literally always on the rocks. So, alright, next question. Do you have any animals? I used to have a lot more than I currently do, but right now I just have my little Pomeranian, or my Pomsheep. We don't have papers for her, so we don't know for sure if she's a purebred Pomeranian, or if she's half Pomeranian, half Chihuahua. I don't really care either way. She picked her ears up as soon as I said that word. I'm gonna pick her up. Either way, I love her just the same, but this is Talia. Most of you guys have seen her in my videos before. She's very camera shy, though. Yeah, I'm trying to get her to look at the camera. She's also the same dog that will not look at herself in mirrors. I don't know if she thinks there's another dog there, or if it just freaks her out, or what. Your little paws, they're so tiny. Say hi. Yeah, she is very not cool, but isn't she just the cutest little thing? But yeah, she's, I think, 11 years old? 11 or 12? I want to say 11. So, she's an old girl, but she's a sweetie. We got her as a rescue when she was 5 years old, so she's had a rough life, but I feel like we've helped make up for it, because for all the shit she went through before we had her, we have given her a very cushy life, so I love you so much. Yes, I do. Yep. Gonna look up at the camera? No? Alright. You're so quiet today. It's funny, when I have her in the room and I'm just filming normal stuff, and like she's across the room, oh, those are the days when she will sit here and bark her little head off. I bring her on camera, she won't make a peep. It's hilarious. Oh, hi, honey. Oh, now she's doing her little panty smiley face. Hi, honey. Hi. Come on over. Oh, you hear a Kimmy? Hi. Come here. Come here. Hi, sweet. Oh, you hear the dog outside. Okay, come here. Come here. Alright. Okay, now she's snuggled against my leg again. Alright, so, before her, not that long ago, we still had horses, which my whole life, we had had horses. My dad's whole life, his parents had horses. This is ranch territory, but, after my grandpa died, all the costs obviously went to my dad and his brother, who lives 2 houses away, and they really weren't into the whole horse thing anymore like they had been when they were young, and they didn't want to pay all the costs involved with it, so they ended up selling them, which was heartbreaking. But on the plus side, our neighbors that, God, this sounds horrible still, but we own their house and rent it to them. They have 3 horses that live in the pasture right outside my bedroom window, so there's still horses on the property that we get to look at, and if we want to, as long as we let them know first, we're allowed to ride them as long as we stay on the property with them, which is more than fair. If it were the other way around, I don't think we'd have let them ride ours, so, just saying. So, at least it doesn't feel like quite as big a shock to the system since those are there, as opposed to if there was just suddenly nothing. So, there's that. And I've also had many, many other pets in the past. I've had, God, I don't even know how many cats at this point. I had 2 main ones growing up, but a bunch of outdoor cats as well. I had one that stayed over at my grandma's house because my dad didn't want to let me have another cat after the main two had died. There have been a lot of cats. I had a couple of birds, which I had originally named Paul and Linda. And when I found out Linda was a boy, renamed to Ringo, so it was Paul and Ringo. I've had a crap ton of fish, but I made a video on the fish, so we don't need to cover the fish. You just need to go to that video if you want to hear about the fish. I had a frog, not just once, I think I had 2 frogs, that I caught and kept in a little, I don't know if a terrarium is the word I'm looking for or not here, but they were little teeny tiny ones. They were so cute, but then I felt bad because I literally captured them out of their habitat to keep and I eventually let them go. But I had a couple of salamanders. God, we've had a lot of pets. I'm trying to think, did we have any others? I mean, there's a lot of them that I kind of considered to be pets because they were outdoor animals and I would feed them and they would let me pet them, that probably technically didn't count as pets, like the family of foxes that we had live near our old house. Like, they actually let me pet them, and I would feed them every day. So I considered them to be pets of mine, even though they never came inside or anything. They didn't have names, but I was very attached to them. What else? There's a lot of wildlife around here, though, that I don't count in with that. Like, we get coyotes here every day. We've had mountain lions here before, which was exciting and terrifying. We get owls all the time, which I always have to look out for Talia, because owls are notorious for making off with small Pomeranians. Who knew? So yeah, I never let her outside alone. That's why she's an indoor dog. There are raccoons. Actually, my aunt kept one as a pet for many years. There's been opossums. There's been skunks, which, for as bad a reputation as they get, they're not bad animals, unless you spook them. As long as you don't spook them, they're not bad. What else? I know we've had others around here, but those are just like the general wildlife, but of the ones I consider pets, I think I've covered all those. So next question. What is your favorite lip balm? One that you use on an everyday basis? Well, one of them would be the Soft Lips Cube in Peach Mango. And I think my other one... Hold on. Talia, what are you doing? Come back. Don't you dare pee on my floor. Come back. Alright. Sorry. Yeah, she still hears the other dog outside, and she feels very threatened. She's, like, getting ready to have a little piss fit over here, and it's like, dude, the other dog's outside. The neighbors literally just got a new dog last week, and it has a shrill bark. It's like, do you remember the show Wishbone? It used to be on, like, PBS. It's that kind of dog. So, it just barks its head off all damn day. But yeah, so, every time it does, it makes her crazy. I'm surprised she's not barking right now, although she's had a couple little, like, growly things over here. Her little harumphs, like I like to call them. But yeah, what was the question? Oh yeah, lip balm that is my favorite that I use every day. Actually, maybe it is just the Peach Mango Cube. So, I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I use literally every day? That may be the only one I use every day. Let's see here. What is your favorite Revo and EOS? Okay, we covered Revo, even though I didn't come up with a really concrete answer. As for EOS, hands down, obviously, first off would go to Sweet Mint, and then behind that, probably Summer Fruit, Honeysuckle Honeydew, Fresh Watermelon, even though it's almost identical to the Honeydew one. Those may be my favorites right there. Let's see here. Would you like to get a driver's license someday? Would I like to or should I are two very different questions. Because actually, it goes along with all the health issues. Some of you already know this, some do not. I'm mostly blind out of this eye. I only have like the very outmost peripheral vision on that side. The middle of it is nothing. So sometimes my pupils are fucked up in videos on that side and don't match up because of that. It's not like a complete black void or anything, but it's more like a retinal issue where it's almost like, the best way I can describe it, if you know what a floater looks like, imagine it really big and with like wrinkles all throughout, all crinkly, and a big dark spot in the middle of that. And that's basically what my vision on this side is. So like I can see light and dark and like color on that side, but details I cannot make out through it because it's like trying to see through frosted glass with a big dark spot in the middle. So because of that, and because my vision's not perfect on this side, I actually have glasses and I usually don't wear them in my videos because I look like a nerd. Because of that, it's really not advisable for me to get behind a wheel because anything on that side of me, I would be very prone to getting hit by another vehicle because I wouldn't really see it until it's already too late. Also, just sorry, I just got a notification on my iPod. Between that and the fact that I have a heart condition where I am prone to fainting like that with zero warning, which sounds like an irrational fear, but actually did happen to my Nana, and she had the same problem I have. So it's like, oh, great. Because prior to that, I thought this was just one of my irrational anxiety things, and then it actually happened to her. I was like, oh shit, it can happen. And she actually died not that long after that. It had nothing to do with that, but I'm just like, is that a thing that could have happened again? Which, I mean, realistically, probably not, but it was a bad enough crash where she broke her clavicle and, like, her entire arm on one side, so it's like, oh, shit, I'd really rather not, if that's possible, and I don't want to do any damage to anyone or anything else from being behind the wheel, so it's one of those things where, as long as I'm able to, and as long as the luxury is there, I'll probably continue to just rely on being driven around by family members. If I'm ever in a position where I literally have to and I'm financially able to, then yeah, I may learn to drive at that point. But between those issues and the cost factor and just not having that extra money right now, it's really a moot point because my dad is not like most parents and had no interest in teaching any of us how to drive, had no interest in helping any of us get a car, no interest in helping with insurance, gas, anything else. You're just like, no, you're on your own. So it's like, great. One of my sisters and my brother managed this on a technicality of knowing the right people who just happen to be really, really kind people out of the goodness of their heart and were financially stable enough to where they could just reach out and help a person that way. I don't have those kind of connections, so it's like, yeah, unless I can really afford to do it on my own, I'm kind of screwed, so yeah, that. So, I probably still will do a video on this because I don't know realistically how many people will watch this particular video who may have been wondering that because, yeah, a lot of people have asked why I don't drive, and all of that factors in that it's really expensive and I can't afford it, plus health issues that really make it not optimal for me to be behind a wheel, so. But would I like to? I would actually love to have that kind of freedom, personally. But it's just one of those things where it's like, would I like to? Or for the greater good, should I or not? So, but if I would like to, I would love to. Like, in a heartbeat. So, it just sucks that the thing with my eye, I actually wasn't born with that. That cropped up around age 19, which had to relate to another health issue, but won't go into that here unless you guys really want to hear about it. A couple of you know about it already, but, yeah, was not born with that. That was damage, nerve damage at the back of my eye that fucked that up, so. But the heart issue I was born with. So between the two, like, it just seemed like an irrational fear thing that maybe I'd eventually get over, but then when the vision thing also cropped up on top of it, I almost felt like, this could be a sign that maybe I'm not meant to drive, so between that and just not being financially able to do it, yeah. So it's not the most pleasant of things. It's not how I'd like it to be, unlike the housing situation where, personally, I have no problem with it, whereas the car thing, if I had my way, yes, I would love to drive. So next question is, where did I leave off? Oh, I should actually, like, put my pen down next to the one I'm currently on. Okay, what lip balm do you keep in your purse? This is like an always changing one, but at the same time, there's always ones that I forget are like buried in the inside pocket in there and shit, to where they're like ancient and haven't been touched in probably years, and I should take them out of there, but I will actually go grab my purse right now. At least my usual one, because I don't feel like digging around for my fancy purses that I barely ever use, even though I know I have some that are tossed into each of those as well, so that I'm never completely without. But the one that I usually use, I will go grab it right now. Talia, move please. Thank you. Alright. I will go through it. They're actually not even that great of ones that are in here, because I just went through here when I had to count how many total I have for the lip balm pack. Okay, you can sit back down. Come on. Okay, so, go through my purse. Oh, if you want to see my purse, I don't know why you'd want to, but if you want to, this is my purse. It's got Liza on it, it's got Judy on it, it's got Ringo, it's got John Lennon. It's pretty cool. So, anyway, okay. Are there any lip balms over here? We've got a Dramamine, got a necklace, a tampon, bank card, library card. No lip balms in that pocket. Okay. This inside pocket. Ooh, money I didn't know I had. Okay. Let's see. Nope, none in that pocket. But I did find, never mind, it's literally a $1 bill. That's unexciting. Aw, I was hoping I found like a 20. Never mind. Okay. Okay, next pocket. Okay, we've got a pen, we've got a travel toothbrush, we've got house keys, hand lotion. We hit the first of the lippies. Okay, so the first one in there, and this I actually do still use, is the Liplicious Coconut Pineapple. So I've got that in there. Enter receipts. Why the hell do I keep receipts? Shopping list. Ooh, gum. I'm so ADD, I'm sorry. Another pen. Wow. Because my purse is such a clusterfuck that I always lose pens, so I throw more of them in there, hoping that eventually... Ooh, Tic Tacs! Oh, they're old. They have, like, lost their color. That's the Strawberry Fields ones. You're noticing a theme here, I'm sure. Got eyeshadow. Aha! Also from Liplicious, the Fabulous Candied Strawberry Lip Gloss. Ooh, it's got a hair stuck to the back. Alright. But yeah, I just thought it looked cool more than anything. And I think I, like, wanted to wear it in public once and, like, never touched it again. Still good. I'm not opposed to still using it. I just forgot it was in there. Yeah, I don't think that's still good. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, it smells rancid. Okay. I will probably be taking that out of the purse then. Oh, pocket backpack. I forgot what's in there. Can't even use those anymore. Which I'll be covering in another question later. Compact. Aha! Chapstick. We've got... This is an old staple that I actually just got another one of today. The Vanilla Mint. This is one of my all-time favorites, too. And I've been trying to find another one for ages. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to kick you, sweetie. You're okay. You don't have to run. It's okay. Sorry about that. You forgive me. Okay. But yeah, like, everywhere I've looked, it's always been sold out. And this one's been really low, so I didn't want to use up the last of it. So I was really happy to find another one today. But yeah, so I'll probably swap that out for the new one later. This isn't a lip balm, this is lipstick. You guys can see how pretty that is. This one is in Cozy Mauve. I have no idea what collection it is other than it's an Avon one, so that's pretty that's like my go-to color. I don't wear a lipstick that often, but when I do, that's about the color I wear. Let's see here. Another pocket back. A comb. Ooh, concealer stick that is probably no good anymore because I forgot about being it. Yeah, the turn wheel doesn't even work. I've been trying to find this thing for ages of where it went away to. Like, I've bought another since then because I couldn't find where this one went. Aw, that's where it hid. Okay, this one is definitely not still good and probably needs to, like, be tossed or something, or at least clean before just like going into the older lip balm part of my collection of not using it anymore because it's probably not sanitary, but it is really old. It's the Liquid Lip Smacker in Pink Lemonade, and there is so much crap around the cap that I am so sorry. I'm gonna try and put my finger over it so you don't have to look at it because it's really gross. I have not used this in years and honestly forgot it was in there. But it's got like the old label still. It's all discolored and shit. That's really gross. I wonder if it still smells good. I'm not gonna put it on, obviously, but I just want to see if it smells good. Weirdly, it still smells okay. But there is no way you could pay me to use that. I need to buy like a replacement because I know they still sell this in the liquid gloss form, and it was actually one of my favorite ones of the liquid gloss. But yeah, not using that one anymore. That is really gross. Oh, another lipstick. What the hell? Like, the brand has completely worn off. There's no sticker on it anymore, but it's like, oh, it's this one. Okay, so it looks really dark in the tube, but it's actually like just a really nice sort of medium pink. Oh my gosh, I've been trying to find this for ages. I'm so happy I did this video. I never would have found that otherwise. A Band-Aid. Okay. Bunch of wrappers. Eyeliner. Another message. A barrette. That's definitely been in there a long time, given how long it's been since I had long enough hair to wear a barrette. An uni card. Oh, that's ancient. Hey, I found my missing sunglasses lens. I can fix them now. This has to be the work of one of my nephews. A rubber bouncy ball. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I definitely didn't put that there. A candy from God knows when. Ooh, gold dollar. Ooh, one of the Revo sticks. Okay, we've got the tropical fruit one, and this is still good. Because this I just got not that long ago. It, like, still hasn't even been used yet, I don't think. But, yeah, because I have two of it. Smells kind of like cotton candy. What? Knock down my eyeliner. Then we've got the Revo Gloss in Tangerine. I think I used it once and forgot it was in there, but it's also still good. Come on, let's uncap. Yeah, that one still smells awesome. I've got the other one in there too. This one's watermelon. I like how they pray goes on clear, even though it looks like it'd be hellaciously pigmented, but no. I'm just gonna smell all the things. Yep, it's just Revo watermelon. As you do. And the last one in here, I think, unless I got some in that pocket. No, nothing in that pocket. Alright. Is Liplicious Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin, which, you know what? I don't think I even ever actually used it. I remember opening it. I can tilt this down a little tiny bit. I remember opening this, but not actually putting it on and tossing it in my purse around autumn several years ago. I don't think it ever got used. No, I see residue. I must have used it at least once. Ooh, it still smells really good. Unlike that other one, this one still smells okay, so. That one still may be useful. That one smells really nice. Not gonna lie. So, okay, let me toss all this crap back in my purse. I'll deal with it later in weeding out the old shit that shouldn't be in there. Just because we need to get back to this video, and my notebook is under all the shit that I just pulled out here, so I will deal with it later. There's the nasty lip smacker. This goes in, this goes in. There's the ball. I'm actually gonna leave the pocket backs out. And in case anybody was curious about the hand lotion, it was just one of the travel ones from Bath & Body Works. It's the peach citrus one. So yeah, that one still smells awesome too. Actually, I'm gonna hit stop on this, so I'm just gonna splice videos together because this is taking a while. Okay guys, sorry about that. So went and put stuff back in the purse and took the lint roller to my shirt to get the dog fur off of me and let the dog out of my room. She'll probably be scratching at the door in 2 seconds anyway, but it is what it is. So those are the lip balms that are in my purse. Even though a lot of them need to come out of my purse, so I'll still deal with that later. So, next question. If you could create your own lip balm flavor or scent, what would you create? Ooh, that one, I like that one. Even though I don't really know realistically if it will work or not, I know my knee-jerk reaction of what I would like to try and put together. I would like to try and put together peach and banana. I mean, I put those two fruits together in smoothies all the time and it works. So I feel like as a lip balm, it could probably work. And I feel like scent-wise that would work. So that, just off the top of my head, I want to say probably, even though I don't know in practicality how it would work out in reality or not. So who knows? I'm not the one who makes the things, I just buy the things. But yeah, it's a funny thing because I actually had a science unit in 8th grade where we had to create our own perfumes, and that shit is a lot harder trying to find things that go together than not. So, like I said, I want to say that those two would work, but I'm actually not positive they would or not. But given Lip Smackers made even like berry peach, which I feel like wouldn't work, but apparently does, who knows, maybe it would. So, or maybe it's just that peach is kind of like my go-to favorite for lip balm flavors and scents, and banana is my other favorite, even though I barely ever see it pop up. So there's that. Okay, what is your favorite lip balm scent? I literally just answered that, but I'll explain a little further because I think some other answers could go in there too. So obviously peach and banana, not necessarily together, individually just fine. I also love minty scents. If it's done right, I like cinnamon, but a lot of places don't do it right, so that one's tricky. Again, if done right, I like coconut scents, but if they don't do it right, it just smells like sunscreen. I don't like those so much. A lot of the fruitier scents that aren't really berry based, I like generally, so that's a pretty broad thing to say, I realize, but yeah, those. And I don't like the really over-the-top sweet ones where you kind of just want to gag when you smell it. So, as long as it's fruity and not too sweet, generally, I'm a fan. Although I will totally use things that fall into the other categories, as you've seen me do. Whether or not I end up loving them or not, maybe another story. But sometimes, ones I thought would be horrible end up being really good. Like, perfect example, the Soft Lips Cube in Salted Caramel. I put off reviewing that one for so long, or even opening it, because I thought it was going to be so god-awful that I'd be like trying to choke back a vomit or something. And then I ended up loving it. So, like I said, there's totally exceptions to every rule. Alright. If you could only use one lip balm for the rest of your life, what would it be? Oh, that's hard. Probably because I'm least likely to burn out on it at some point. I would say, even though I just showed it to you, the Chapstick Vanilla Mint. Because it's subtle enough to where it doesn't bother me even on my most sensitive days where everything is bothering my nose. But at the same time, it's strong enough to still have the tingle to it that I love, and it's two scents and flavors that really I don't hit burnout on. So other ones, like, as much as I adore peach, I feel like if I consistently used it every day for like the rest of my life, I would hit burnout. Like, even though I said earlier for the what lip balm do I use every day, that was like the closest to every single day answer that I could come up with, even though in reality it's not every single day, but it's close to it, is the peach mango one from Soft Lips. But I feel like I would definitely eventually hit burnout on that. If I could only use that for the rest of my life, I would eventually burn out on it. Vanilla Mint, at least for that particular Vanilla Mint, I feel like I'd be okay with, even if that were the only thing I were allowed to use. So, there's that. Eos versus Riva versus Soft Lips. Oh, that's hard. I'm actually going to eliminate Soft Lips right off the bat, since if I had to put them in a hierarchy, Eos and Revo would indeed be above Soft Lips. But Eos versus Revo is really hard because, I mean, they both have differing things that I love about each of them. And they each have drawbacks, like Revo has so many more flavors than Eos does. But on the other hand, that means there's that many more flavors that I'm not necessarily a fan of. Eos may be more limited, and I generally like things more, but they have the expiration and mold problem, whereas with Revo it doesn't matter so much usually. There's with Revo, oh gosh, I had more examples in mind earlier, but I'm drawing a blank now. But they each have strengths and weaknesses, and it's really hard for me to make a blanket statement and say one over the other, but if I were forced to, like, at gunpoint or something, oh god, don't ever do that to me, make that decision, I think if I had to pick one, I would go with Revo just because they don't have the mold issue. So that is like the one thing that pops them up a tiny little bit above Eos for me, even though I really view them as even keel, on par with each other when thinking about both brands in general as being tied as my favorites. Okay, if you could have 3 wishes, what 3 wishes would it be? Ooh, you guys are coming up with hard questions today. Oh gosh, wow, I never know how to answer that one, so I'd probably be screwed if I ever met a genie. First, right off the top, I would say the first wish would have to go to resolving all medical, mental, emotional issues and just be normal and not have any of that. Because since most of them for me have been since birth, I literally don't know what normal feels like. So that would probably be wish number 1. Wish number 2. Probably to be rich and financially stable for life in a way with no loopholes like genies historically are famous for doing, to where I could live the rest of my life on that money and never have to worry about running out of money ever. So that would probably be wish number 2. Wish number 3. This is gonna sound so cliche, but as somebody who's literally always dealt with depression, and I suppose this probably does go partly with wish number 1, but wish number 1 wouldn't necessarily guarantee this point. So I would also want this to be specific, but also to just be happy, like truly happy. Because think about all the movies you've ever seen where people get the 3 wishes and they get like the fame, they get riches, they get this, that, and the other, but they're like freaking miserable, right? So I want to guarantee that I wouldn't be miserable. I'd want to be happy. So that, happy, safe, healthy, all of that covered on that last one. So I think those would be my 3. I know, they're not very creative, but if I'm being realistic about what they'd be, that's what they'd be. Okay, how old are you? This is like literally everybody's favorite question to ask me, and probably I get asked it at least a few times a week. I am currently, as of the time of making this video, 31 years old. And this always trips people out to the point where some people get uncomfortable and unsubscribe immediately, even though I've always been super transparent about my age, because I don't want that to be a thing where people feel catfished or something, because I'm not trying to pass for being younger. I just look and sound very young, and I act very young. I am an immature person as well, who honestly doesn't have her shit together very well. So, yeah, I probably do look and sound an awful lot like a teenager, on top of the fact that I have a very young-looking face and a very high voice. Probably because I'm really short. I'm only 4'11", so I feel like the voice, it's usually, what's the word I'm looking for? Usually proportional to your height, So because I'm very small, I have a very high voice. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, like, even on my Instagram, like, I have had so many of you guys ask, are you really 31? Or are you, like, fucking with people? I'm like, 31 is not a cool age. Nobody would just randomly claim to be 31 if they were not actually 31. Like, if people want to lie about their age to sound older or younger, they generally pick something like 25. 25 is a good age. I had like a quarter life crisis at 25, but supposedly it's a cool age, but yeah. Yeah, so 31, nobody would really want to pose as 31 if they weren't actually 31, so it is what it is. I think most of you at this point are aware of that fact by now, so I don't think it's really coming as that big of a shocker to any of you, but if it did, I apologize if somehow, for some reason, that weirds you out, even though it's just literally, it's going to happen to all of you. You're all going to get older, and a lot of you will probably still have the same interests when you're older as you did when you were the age you were now. So, it just happens. So, like I said earlier, like, I've collected lip balm my whole life, so that wouldn't just magically go away because I hit adulthood, and since I found out there's actually other people who collect it here on YouTube, I've made pretty much a channel about it, so the fact that I happen to be older just really doesn't even play into it. As far as I'm concerned, it is a number. That's all it is, so. Alright, next question. Do you own any MAC lipsticks? If so, show us. If not, what's your favorite lipstick? I only own one MAC lipstick, and I tried to find it before filming this video so I could show it to you, and I feel really stupid that I can't find where it is. But the only reason I even own it, because normally I would not spend that much money on makeup. What did I do to my hair? I would not normally spend that much money on any makeup, because generally I don't wear makeup, but for MAC Cosmetics, and I want to say either 2002 or 2004, watch it be 2003, but in one of those years in there, Liza Minnelli had a makeup collection from MAC, and I did not know about it at the time, or I would have bought up all the things. I found out about it in like 2006. It had already been discontinued by then, so I got a couple of things off eBay. I got one of the lipsticks, and I got one of the nail polishes, and that was all I ever managed to get from it, because now when I see things pop up from that collection, they're so insanely high to where I'm like, as much as I have a huge Liza Minnelli memorabilia collection, it is not worth it to me to spend that much money on makeup that I would literally just have as a piece of memorabilia, not even to use. So, the nail polish that I had, even though you didn't ask this, is Liza Red, and I actually can show you that, because I know exactly where that is. I can see it from right here. And the lipstick I have, it wasn't the one I ideally wanted, but it was the one I could afford, is Girl About Town, which I think they might even still sell. It's sort of like a muted hot pink color, sort of. The only times I've ever worn it have been when I've gone to see her in concert. So, that lipstick has been worn a grand total of 17 times. I probably shouldn't admit that, but it's not the first time I've told you guys how many times I've seen Liza, so, but yeah, I've only ever worn it when I've gone to see her in concert, and I have another lipstick that's not a MAC lipstick. It's not even a high-end lipstick. It's actually an Avon one that is almost the identical color, because I like how it looks on me, surprisingly enough, even though it wasn't the one I was after. That was a much cheaper one that is almost the same color that I wear for occasions when I just want to, like, be dressed up for, like, a holiday or something. I'll wear that. But the other one is specifically reserved to those, and since she may or may not have quietly retired in the past year, may not be getting worn again, it may just be a piece of memorabilia now. But, yeah, I will actually go grab that nail polish for you, though, because I know where it is. I thought I had the lipstick with it, but apparently I must not have put it back the last time that I used it in 2013, 2013 or 2014? 2014. So I need to look around a bit better for where I would have put it after that show. So I will go grab the nail polish though, because at least it's the same company and it's vaguely related here. So if I ever do track down the lipstick though, I will show you that happily. I'll probably even give it its own video. But this one I bought literally just because of the name. It is literally Liza Red. So I had to have that one. And if the red lipstick from that line had actually been named this, I would have not cared about the cost. I would have sprung for that too. But the red that they had that was the same color as this was like, what was it, like Kiss and Tell or Ready to Kiss or something like that? It was some weird name. So I was like, I don't know about that. So, but yeah, here's the bottle. You can tell I've used it a few times. I haven't worn this every time I've seen Liza, like I have with the lipstick. I almost said nail stick, wow. But yeah, it's kind of cool. It is literally, oh, it's printed on the bottom too. But yeah, so I know I wore this to see her. I think the last time I wore it was in 2010 when I saw her at Wendy Vineyards. So yeah, I didn't want to use it all up because I wanted to keep the color in the circle there. So anyway, that's what I've got as far as a MAC collection. It's literally 2 items. So yeah, it is what it is, and if it weren't for the Liza Minnelli connection there, I wouldn't even own those. So, alright. Can you send me some of your unopened lip balms? No! Buy your own. It's not that hard to buy them. You can literally buy them anywhere, and they only cost a few dollars. Buy your own. Sorry if that sounds bitchy. Otherwise, wait for a giveaway and enter. Favorite YouTubers? Oh gosh, this would be a really long list. I'll try not to be too lengthy, but like, first I'll like name the lip balm YouTubers and then in general YouTubers. So lip balm YouTubers, my favorites are Lip Balm Addict, who actually I literally have a notification on my iPod right now that she just uploaded a Musical.ly. So Lip Balm Addict, Lip Balm Queen, Holly Eats Lipstick, Listen Beauty, 99 Shaka, Purple Star 02, is it? I'm hoping I'm not screwing up the number at the end. I don't know if she counts as a lip balm YouTuber, but she's definitely a beauty YouTuber. So Graveyard Girl, oh god, I love Bunny so much. She is one of my all-time favorite YouTubers, period, hands down, of anyone. I literally always have a tab open in my browser on her channel page that I refresh throughout the day to see if she's uploaded anything, because I'm obsessed. Oh, who else? Trying to think if anyone else jumps to mind immediately. I know there's more, and I'm blanking, and I feel really bad if you're one of the bigger ones that I've forgotten you, because I probably do watch your channel. Whether or not I actively comment, I do watch them, but goodness. Okay, so in general YouTubers, the Shaytards are like my number one favorite and always have been. I already mentioned Graveyard Girl. Who else? The Game Grumps, Did You Know Gaming. I actually watch a lot of video game channels. If you looked at my subscription list, probably most of it is video gaming channels. Lacey Green, Dr. Doe, which I realize as an asexual is very weird that I watch those channels, but as a concept, it's a fascinating concept to me. I just don't personally want to do it. I'm not opposed to it, just I don't want to do it personally, but if other people want to, that's cool. Just, I don't want to. But I don't mind hearing about it, or learning about it, but yeah. So, there's them. There is Nerdy Nummies. Who else? Stuff Mom Didn't Tell You. Oh, what's that channel with the Irish people try blank for the first time? Is it just called Facts? I feel like it's just called facts, but the one where they have Irish people trying things for the first time all the time, I love theirs. That has been like probably my most recent YouTube obsession of trying to go through freaking everything. Who else? I think Chadtronic. I could probably go on all day, so I should probably just stop there. If you want like a better list, I could probably make one, but just trying to do it off the top of my head. I know I'm forgetting people that I adore, and I feel really guilty for that, but to try and remember them all off the top of my head would probably take a really long time, so. Okay. Why did you stop collecting pocketbacks? Okay, I've gotten this question a lot since I stopped, but the reason I stopped collecting pocketbacks was I started having a weird reaction to them, and I thought it was just the newer ones, but apparently it spanned over into the older ones too, and it may be that I've developed a reaction to rubbing alcohol in general, because I get very, very dizzy and nauseous almost the second I open those now, and I thought it was just those. Until my sister was over here one day, and she was doing Jamberry nail wraps, and she thought they'd be perfect for me because there's no harsh chemicals from nail polish that could possibly screw with me, and all of a sudden I'm realizing I'm still having that same weird reaction, almost just like with the pocketbacks. And then I realized she's using a rubbing alcohol wipe on her daughter's nails. And, like, as soon as it dried, I felt fine. Like, perfectly fine. So it's like, oh, so it may not be the pocketback specifically. It's the rubbing alcohol in them, I think. I've not 100% been able to prove that, but regardless, they just made me start feeling so sick every time I'd even just open them. Not necessarily even have it on, but just open. It was like, okay, apparently I can't use these anymore. And it bummed me out because this also stretched over into a lot of perfumes too. And body sprays, just cannot do them anymore because of that one stupid ingredient. At least I think it's just the one. It might be a combination of things, but it just was so severe to where, like, the more frequently I test the waters with this, it seemed like it would take me longer and longer to bounce back from the reaction every time, to where, like, first time noticing it, felt woozy for a little while and was fine. Next time that I started connecting the dots and had it open again, I practically felt like I had the flu for a few hours and then felt fine. I tried it again the next day. I was down for 3 days. I waited about a month and tried one more time and it happened again. So I was like, okay, so this is definitely the culprit that's making me feel horrible. So I'm going to not use them. So I put them in a box and I put them away where I didn't have to look at them. I didn't have to be near them. I figured I'll try again in like 6 months and see if I still have the reaction now. Because I don't want to like throw them all away and then find out down the road that, oh, hey, whatever was going on apparently resolved itself and I threw them away for nothing. So I didn't do that. I just put them in a box and put them away somewhere, which seemed reasonable. But when I went to try them again, it still happened. So I put them back in the box and put them away for like another 6 months. Year later, still happening. So I was like, shit. So I listed some of them on Mercari, but not all of them, mostly because I'm lazy more than anything. But yeah, I'm starting to think that whatever it is either probably isn't going away or will take so long to go away that they won't even be good anymore by the time that it resolves. Because I've had weird allergies to things crop up very suddenly before, usually to things that I'm exposed to a lot. Like, perfect example was apples. They were my favorite fruit my whole life until just one day it was like somebody flipped a switch and they started making me really sick. Not with those particular symptoms, but they made me really, really sick every single time I so much as had something with even a trace of apple juice in it. So, had to cut those out, and about 11 years later, randomly, like, I accidentally had something with apples in it and was, like, prepping myself for, oh god, I'm gonna be in the bathroom for the next 2 days now, and it didn't happen. I was like, that was a fluke, but I'm glad it didn't happen. So like a few months later, I was like, I wonder if I could try a tiny bit of apple juice. Like, I filled the bottom of a shot glass with apple juice and drank that and just waited, because honestly, that was all it took in the height of that allergy to set it off. And it was okay. I was like, let's try a little bit more. And was still okay. Filled it up, was okay. Tried to have a glass, that pushed me over the edge, and then I had a reaction. So I was like, alright, so apparently the sensitivity's lessening, so alright, that's good. So I waited a while, and I got something from Blenzers, and I honestly forgot to check the ingredient list before I got it and had paid and was already sipping from it and realized, oh shit, you know what I realized? It has apple juice in it. I'm fucked. So, totally prepared for this to be a thing, and I drank the whole thing. I was like, well, if I'm gonna be sick from it anyway, I may as well enjoy this while I'm at it. So I drank the whole huge thing, and nothing happened. I was like, really? So I like waited a few days, and I ate some apple slices, and I was okay. And I was like, did it go away? Did it finally go away? And pretty much ever since, with the exception of like one day that I think was a fluke, it's been gone ever since. And I've had this happen with other things real suddenly too, so I don't know if this would be something else that eventually years down the line I'll be okay with again, or if they'll even still make them by that point, but I can basically guarantee that the ones I have in my collection right now will definitely not still be good by however long it would take me to get over this weird reaction I have to them, so sucks for me, but, you know, if it prevents me having to feel that shitty by just not using a thing, I am totally okay with not using that thing. So, like I said, sucks that I don't get to use those because they smelled really good, but in the grand scheme of things, I would much rather not feel like death warmed over just because I felt like using a pocket back. So, yeah, I'm quietly selling those off, as much as it breaks my heart to do so, but I'd rather somebody else at least get to enjoy them rather than them just sit in a box untouched because I literally can't use them. So. What's your all-time favorite and least favorite lip balm? For as much as my knee-jerk reaction wants to go to the Moi lip balms for the least favorite lip balm, I feel like least favorite of all time, like for a specific item instead of like a brand altogether, would have to be the Revo Blueberry Popsicle, because that was the one that actually made me throw up because I just couldn't handle it for some reason. It just gave me that bad of a reaction every time that I have so much as opened the lid with that one. Ever since I got it, it literally turns my stomach. There's something with that smell I just cannot with. So that, I think, hands down, is my least favorite one I have ever owned. For my all-time favorite owned, that one's probably the Soft Lips Peach Mango Cube. Not the stick. The stick's not as good for some reason, but the cube is amazing. So, do you like Revos better than EOS? Do you think both are great moisturizing lip balms? I feel like we covered this one earlier. I like them about equally, but just teensy hair more on the Revo side. In terms of, are they both moisturizing? I feel like it honestly varies from lip balm to lip balm in both of those brands. Like, some of them are amazingly moisturizing. Other ones, I feel like you're worse off after using them than you were before you put it on. So it's really just trial and error, and everybody's body is different or reacts a little differently with lip balms too. For like, I could find one to be wonderfully moisturizing and have somebody else tell me that it chapped their lips like crazy, or vice versa. So, but yeah, I think on the whole, both of them are pretty good, but there are exceptions to that. So, okay, time to turn the page and get to the view on that side. How often do you shop for new lip balms? Do you mean in a brick and mortar store or at all online? Because if it's the latter, like just about every day I get something. So, there's that. If it's actually in a store, not that often, because I don't drive, so it's really dependent on going with somebody and being able to do it in a low-key enough way as to not make it seem like I only went to go scope those out. So, like, when I go to get my asthma refills every month, I make a point of checking out that end display over there, but usually any other time I have no reason to be on that side of the store, so it's a no-go for that. But online, yeah, there's, like, especially this part of the year when all the brands are releasing new things, it's been a literally everyday thing, but I do try to get the best deals that I see possible, but sometimes there aren't options, so I end up paying more for something than I would have liked to. Like, all the things that are exclusive to Five Below, we don't have those on the West Coast, and they don't sell through their website. So I am literally at the mercy of somebody helping me out and picking them up and paying whatever they feel is fair for it, or seeing a listing somewhere for them and paying for the cheapest set that I see, or if there's only the one set, then I guess I'm paying that much because there's literally no other way for me to get them because we do not have Five Below on the West Coast. Which really sucks because it seems like you guys find like the most interesting ones at Five Below and things generally pop up there first. And I'm like, I feel really left out for living in California. You guys get all the good stuff from Five Below. But yeah, so for stuff like that, I do generally go a bit crazy with it, but for things that I know will eventually turn up in stores here, I try to keep somewhat of a lid on things and wait till I see it reasonably and for like what it actually should cost. Like the new EOSs, like I finally found 2 of them through the Walgreens store or the website today, so I got those. Still haven't found the lemon one yet, and I'm not going to kill myself finding it. If it turns up in a store, awesome. I know eventually it will because they said by mid-August they will be widespread available. So there's literally no point in me overpaying to have it right now than to just wait a few weeks. There is no reason for me to try and rush that. But other ones where it's like there's literally no way, then yeah, I try a bit harder. So, but I mean, they're like my small luxury that they're generally cheap and yeah, altogether they add up, but generally, even added up, it doesn't come to that much. So, I mean, yes, I just had that one splurge one earlier because it's so rare, but normally that is not the case. So, why did you name your channel BeatleBabe? Well, it's not so much that I wanted to name the channel specifically that as it's my oldest online screen name that I have used literally since I started using the internet in 1993. So, or 94. I feel like it was 93 though, and I mistakenly thought it was 94 for a long time, but when I really thought back, I was like, oh wait, actually, I did use it in 93. But, originally, because of my age, because at that point I was only like, trying to think how old I would have been in 93. I'm gonna count on my fingers because I'm really bad at math. So. I would have been 8. So, God, I'm bad at math. But, so I actually wanted BeatleBaby because I was so young at that point, but that was already taken. So I was like, well, I could go with BeatleBabe because at that point it still had screen name suggestions it would pop up with that were similar to what you wanted but wasn't available. So BeatleBabe came up. I was like, I guess that'd be okay. That sounds kind of cool. So that was my first ever screen name and is still in use to this day. But, by like the second or third websites I tried to sign up with it on, that was already taken, so I added some numbers to the end of it. And just because it sounded cool, I added 007, like James Bond, to the end of it. Even though I was totally just a tiny-ass little kid and very much not cool and very much not James Bond. So, so, I mean, it was more just because it sounded cool than anything. And I actually do still use that a couple places, too. Not much anywhere, but there are a couple really old accounts that I still have that are still active from that old. So there's that. there was a few places I used different numbers on them for, but usually it was just BeatleBabe is what it ended up being. And for years and years on end, that was the main one. Every once in a while, I would make one on the side, like, at one point I had, like, Ringo's Girl 64, although that one got hacked, and I never got back into it. I had, like, Jen Macca, because Macca is short for McCartney. I Love the Who. I had, this one I wasn't little for, which, you'll know why when I say it, but on AOL Instant Messenger, at one point I had Dudley Moore Whore, because I am immature. What else? I've had, this one's still in action in some places, Liza's Little Protege. I've had, what else? Obviously, this one's still in action because my Instagram is at Jenny OneNote, which was a nod to a Judy Garland song, but also there was a parody of that song that was about Liza called Liza OneNote, but the Judy song was Johnny OneNote, and if I had been a boy, I was going to be named John, and since I felt the lyrics of that song kind of applied to me, I was like, Johnny OneNote, Jenny OneNote, that kind of became a thing from it. Although every time I've used it and somebody's found out about it, they're like, oh, like Liza OneNote, and I'm like, well, that too, but that wasn't why I used it. I used it because of Johnny OneNote, and they're like, oh, what's that? And I'm like, you know the parody, but not the real song. Awesome. But yeah, so I've had that, but the one that I always end up going back to over and over again is BeatleBabe. But the main reason why I didn't just concretely use it across the board was I used to have the domain name for that until I defaulted when my very first bank account had an issue and got closed down, and I couldn't pay online for it because I didn't have another one to set up so I could have the payments go through and everything. So I lost it, and somebody bought it in like a minute and turned it into a porn site. I was like, oh shit, I do not want people thinking I am associated with that. It's like some really, really weird one too. It's like nylons porn or something that I like didn't even know was a thing until they turned my old domain name into that. I was like, oh, hell no. So that was why I think my Etsy was like the first place I used Jenny OneNote instead, because I did not want there being any crossed mixed messages there thinking I had anything to do with that. And as far as I know, that website is still going and under that domain, and it makes me really sad because I would like to have it back if they'd ever sell it back, but oh well. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not at the top of my priorities to fight for it back that hard, but that was why it started branching away from BeatleBabe, but sites I was already established on when that happened, like YouTube, I wasn't gonna go in and change my screen name just because of that, because I had it first, damn it. I'm the one who made it a thing, not them, so whatever. But yeah, so anyway, as for why it's a thing, it's because of the band The Beatles. I've been a lifelong fan, still am, always will be. That's why it's spelled the way it is. So, yeah, that. Okay. How would you feel if you hit 1 million subscribers? Well, I feel like that would probably not happen in this lifetime, but if I were lucky enough for that to be a thing, I would be so freaking excited, like, I would be thrilled even to hit just like a quarter of that so I could get the silver play button, you know? But to hit 1 million, I feel like that would be one hell of an accomplishment, and like I have done something correctly somewhere along the lines with my life if I actually managed to get that. Unfortunately, I doubt I'll ever succeed in getting that, but who knows? I mean, who thought Lip Balm Act was gonna, like, explode the way she did? I mean, if it can happen for her, I suppose it can happen for anybody, right? I mean, I know she's not at 1 million, she's at, like, I think at last check she was at, like, 26,000. So, I mean, that was in, like, 2 months. So I'm like, whatever she's doing right. So, I mean, I should probably be taking some lessons from her and how to do YouTube, because I've been here for over 10 years, and I don't even have 2,000. So, anyway, that's why I'm like, I doubt I'll ever hit 1 million, but if I did, I would be a very, very happy camper. Do you still collect pocket backs or anything else from Bath and Body Works? Well, we covered the pocket backs thing, so no. But other things from Bath and Body Works, I do still buy soaps from there. As for like properly collecting them, I don't think that necessarily applies to soap. I mean, I buy like a big bulk order of them a couple times a year, maybe, but that's about the extent of it. It's not so much collecting it and trying to like fulfill a collection like I did with the pocket backs. And I mean, I used to with the candles, but I had to stop that for another reason. I had to stop that because when I developed full blown asthma, the smoke from candles, even while they're burning, really screws with my breathing, even with my maintenance inhaler, even with my rescue inhaler. It just doesn't work out well for me anymore, which makes me really sad because I was like, damn, not only the pocket bags, but now the candles too. But I mean, once again, it is what it is, but it sure does suck because I loved the candles and I still have a lot of them around, and for as bad as they are for my breathing, I do keep them around because when there's power outs, I'm not going to sit here in the dark just because of my breathing. I will chance it, thank you. I'll just open a window and hope there's enough of the smoke going out the window to where it mitigates it enough to where I can at least kind of breathe. As for anything else, I think it's basically just the soaps that I get from there at this point. Since when have you had your pixie haircut? I think I answered that earlier. Since January of this year. I mean, I've had it very short many times, but in this particular pixie cut, I think that was since then specifically. So I've had it short other times where it was unfortunately a lot poofier, and I was very unhappy with that shit, but like actually pixie cut, this was what I was going for. I actually finally got it right. Things are kind of wonky right now because it's very hot out here and I've been sweating. And my natural hair texture, as you can see, is actually naturally really curly. I'm showing you guys. I fight with these curls every day to make them manageable enough to be presentable. And I have an InStyler that even with my hair being as short as it is, I managed to put through it to try and straighten it to some degree or another, but there's always some amount of it that just, there is no telling it what to do. As much as I want to tame it, it refuses to be tamed. Yeah, I know, insert Miley Cyrus song here. So, yeah. When my hair is long, that's my main reason for why I hate having my hair long, because my hair just goes everywhere. It's just poof. I don't like it. I mean, on other people, if you guys want curly hair, that's cool. On me, it doesn't curl so much as it just goes outward. And I'm like, the hell is this? I am so not okay with this. Like, those of you who know anything about the Beatles are probably familiar with Yoko Ono. Imagine if she had brown hair, and that's basically what mine turns into when it gets long enough if I don't do anything to try and tame it. Like, I know there are pictures of me online where I had longer hair where it looks okay-ish, passable. It's still frizzy as shit, but it's passable. That is with fighting with it, with an InStyler, with gel, with mousse, with God knows what else I've tried to put on it to tame it the fuck down, and it still poofs. So imagine when I don't do any of that, it's just all out everywhere, and it's so bad. I just am not a fan of it, so it just is so much easier for me to deal with when it's short. Okay, when did you buy your first lip balm? Okay, this is a different answer than when did I get my first lip balm, because when I spent my own money for one is very different from just first one I was ever given. So I think the first one I ever bought, probably 6th grade, because I remember the order that it went in on. Because again, my Nana was an Avon lady, she always had the catalogs and stuff, and I, had babysitting money for the first time, and was like, cool, so, I'm gonna buy some stuff, it's gonna be fun. So I, remember I got a bunch of nail polishes from there that I, in one way or another, bought for name only, because I was able to tie them to like Beatles or solo Beatles songs or albums. Like there was like a planetary set of nail polishes where they were named after the planets. So I bought Venus and Mars because of the Paul McCartney's album Venus and Mars. This is exactly how that entire order went, and for years was how I bought makeup. I could have given a shit less about the actual color. I just wanted it for the name. So yeah, that was a thing. And I bought a lip liner even though I didn't know how to use it. I don't think I ever ended up learning how to use it simply because I saw in a teen magazine, this was also the summer I bought my first teen magazine, that lip liner was a must for every teen girl. So I thought, well, shit, I should get some of that. So it was like this horrible, you know what, I still own it. I never used it, and for some reason it's still in my ancient makeup bag from like the late 90s that I think I kept for shits and giggles because I thought it was so hilarious and stuff I felt was necessary to buy. But, hold on. It's like 1 minute. I told you guys I do still have it. It's from Color Trend, which was like, you know how Avon currently has Mark as their teen collection or their cool collection, the Young Hip 20-something collection? Yeah, it used to be Color Trend. And that is how old this is, but that was still a thing. Does it have a year on it? Oh, yeah, it has a year on it. Oh, I guess it was a couple years later. It wasn't 1996, it was 1998, because it has the year on this. Please tell me you can read that. So yeah, that was the color. But whoa! So apparently if lip liners get old enough, they turn white. Or that's mold and it really needs to... That's probably mold. I'm gonna throw that the fuck away. Ew. I'm gonna toss that away from me. So yeah, go by the back end of it. That was the color it once was. Last time I looked at it, it did not have that on it, so I don't know what the hell happened to it, but that's really gross. But, yeah, that was nasty. But yeah, so it was like this weird, like, hot fucking pink lip liner. And I think I tried once to line my lips with it and couldn't really make it work. Because I couldn't figure out, am I supposed to do it on the very edge, like, of my actual lip? Or do I go on just barely outside of it to trace it to make them look bigger? Am I supposed to color in my lips like a crayon with them? I think I tried all three of these approaches, and those were the only times I ever used it. That's why that pencil is still so long. But, yeah, none of these really worked out. And this was in the period when, that phone is really distracting. So this was in the period when, lip liner not matching your lipstick was a thing, where really dark lip liner and lighter lipstick was the in thing, and I don't know why to this day that was a thing, but that was a thing, and it looked terrible then, and it looks terrible now, and I never learned how to use it, and apparently I never will, because that thing is disgusting, and it's going in the trash as soon as I hit stop on this video. But, I swear I did not know it was that gross till I just went and grabbed it, so... I guess good thing to come of this video is that will be thrown the fuck away. So, yeah, that. So, anyway, that was a thing. But it was in that same order that, I guess it must have been 8th grade, not 6th grade, but, or right before 8th grade, because it was the summer in between 7th and 8th. But, because, yeah, I remember having the eyeliner I also bought from that set. It was, like, glittery purple eyeliner. And I thought I was hot shit wearing that for my school picture. Yeah, let that sink in. Glittery, dark purple eyeliner. And for somebody who'd never worn eyeliner in her life prior to this and didn't really know how it works, this ended up being more akin to... It started out with me lining my top lid, and by the time I was done, I had filled in all of this area like it was frigging eyeshadow. Yeah. And I made that be a thing that I like, did for probably the first half of that year. At which point, I switched to glittery green. And then right before I graduated 8th grade, switched to glittery blue. Yeah. Anyway, so in the same order, I keep getting sidetracked, I'm so sorry. I bought a bunch of the Avon, I think they were called Flavor Savers. I think they even still sell a couple of them, but it's in very different packaging nowadays. But they used to have, like, the better part of a dozen of them, because they had, like, strawberry, banana, lime, pineapple, coconut, watermelon. They had grape, but I never bought grape. But, I had a bunch of them, and with the exception of grape, I bought, like, all of them. And those were the first ones I ever bought with my own money. And I was so freaking proud of those. And then every time there was a new Avon catalog that came out, which was like every couple of weeks, I think? Every week, every couple of weeks, something like that. Every time there was a new Avon campaign, I would go through it looking for lip balms I didn't have yet, because it was the one piece of makeup even I could not screw up, because it was clear, and therefore no matter how sloppily I put it on, no matter how much or how little I put on, there was no way for me to screw that shit up. So that also probably hardcore played into why I've stuck with lip balm the way I have, because it's one thing I can't screw up. So, and given I still to this day really don't know what the hell I'm doing with makeup, yeah, that's a thing. So, yeah, I guess that answers the question. So, somewhere in between 7th and 8th grade, not 6th grade like I thought. So, there's that. And then probably after that, I bought my first few lip smackers with my own money. One of which actually came with a computer game, and was the entire reason I felt the need to buy that computer game, because I wanted the free lip smacker, damn it. And then was really upset when I saw that it was grape jelly. And I forced myself to use it, even though I hate grape, just because I was so stubborn. I was like, nope, I fought for this, I'm using it. And it's probably why it's the one grape lip smacker that I can at least stomach. I made myself get to a point where I could use it without actively gagging. I still do not enjoy that one, but I can use it. So, that's a thing. Obviously, not the same one from 1998, but, like, a more modern release actually got one of those with one of those 8-packs, I think, that they sell. I forget which one, but one of them had that in it, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot about this one! Remember that time I bought Rocket's New School just so I could get the lip smacker? Yeah, and it came with like a free mini backpack, and a doll, and the game, and a book, and all kinds of cool shit, and I'm probably a big loser, and I don't care, so I am not ashamed to admit any of that, so yeah. So those were the first lip balms that I bought with my own money. Okay, let's see here. Oh, last question. What was your first lip balm? Oh, shit. I think I tried to answer this earlier with how old I was when I got it, and it was probably those weird Tinkerbell lip balms, but I'm not sure if those really count as lip balms, so either the unflavored, unscented Avon ones with the calendars on them that my Nana just gave out to everybody all the dang time, because she needed to offload them because she had so many, and she got them every year, but, either those, or just whatever random lip smackers I would get in with goodie bags from birthday parties and stuff. I mean, those were a thing that I had really early on, but I'm trying to remember, like, anything in particular. Also, there was definitely some that used to come with Polly Pockets occasionally. I had those. I remember also not liking those, but I remember they were gross, and they ended up sitting in the very back of my dresser because I thought they were so gross. And I think I was like 7 when I got those. I think the same birthday I got like a Disney Beauty and the Beast beauty set, which is kind of revolting even on concept. It came with like a brush, a comb, a magic mirror, and like some really shitty makeup that came with it, like some cream blush that would look good on nobody but Bozo the Clown, some lip balm that I remember I think I actually did use, even though it was not the greatest, and even as a tiny little kid I was like, this is not good quality, but I'll use it anyway. It came with that. It came with like some really shitty wannabe eyeshadow that wasn't really eyeshadow because it was made for tiny little kids, and like a thing of, it was supposed to be perfume, and it was supposed to be rose scented because of Beauty and the Beast and that rose, and it smelled horrible, and I think I dumped it out because it was so bad. I was like, yeah, no, I actually have real perfume that smells like real roses. I do not need that. I don't know what you jokers are doing, but that does not smell like roses. So, that smells like if an animal ate a rose and crapped it out, that's probably what that smells like. So, yeah, not at all a perfume snob as even a little kid. But, yeah, so I had the lip balm from that. That was a very, very early one. I'm really trying to remember any specifics on the lip smackers I had from the 90s. Just drawing blanks with the exception of that one that came with the computer game, and I know I had some before that. It's just a matter of which ones were they? There was also definitely some that they used to do special promotional deals with the Babysitters Club books, which if you guys tell me you don't remember those, I'm going to feel really old. I mean, Kimmy, honestly, I mentioned the Babysitters Club and she was like, what? What's that? I was like, how did you... Those were like my childhood. I read all of them. What? Yeah, so I was like, oh my god, is that not a thing anymore? That breaks my heart. But yeah, they like had promotional deals with like the special glittery covers that they would also come with some of the special glittery lip smackers. And I forget what they were, but they were the ones with the special sparkly foil holographic looking wrappers on them. So if anybody knows which ones they were, I had those because I had literally every Babysitter's Club book. So anything that came with them, I also had. So that was a thing. So any number of those things are amongst the first lip balms I had. I just unfortunately don't remember concrete specifics on specific flavors on which one was the number one first one. So, sorry, I wish I knew myself just because I feel like it'd be really interesting to know that, but no, it was way too long ago, and it didn't seem that significant at the time to where it actually stood out. I only remember the one that came with the computer game, because I remember being so pissed off that it was grape. So, and forcing myself to try and use it until I would use it up or make myself like it. I ended up using it up. I never did end up liking it. So anyway, that is the end of the questions list, and we have probably been here over an hour, which I can't tell for sure because I filmed this in 3 segments, so I don't know what the runtime is. By the time this goes up online, I'll know, but yeah, so I apologize for keeping you guys here this long. Hopefully you sat through all of it and enjoyed it, and don't mind that I talked your ears off, but I would love to do another one of these Q&A sessions in the future. Just let me guys know if you would like me to do another one, and if you like think of random things even before I do another request for questions, you can always use the hashtag AskBeatleBabe thing, and I will write it down in here and just keep them on hand for the next time I do one. So, anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you liked it, click the like button. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, leave comments down below. And until next time, bye!